battle. That's why he didn't do the game. This battle is known in history by the Battle of Kadesh. Anyone heard about it?
Yeah.
Great. The Battle of Kadesh should be a movie because the story is amazing. The story is amazing. Ramses the Great took over, and very much like when a king dies, his father dies, and then another king takes over, and maybe he's young, that will make the people around Egypt kind of greedy. They think they can attack the country. And this is what happened. When Ramses took over, there was a city called Kadesh under the control of the Egyptians, and this city was Syrian city. It was in Syria. Right? Now, the Hittites, Turkey now, decided to attack the city, take it for themselves, because it's very close. Now, the Egyptian army has to be assembled because they have to go to fight. People come from Turkey, the Hittites. Ramses is a young guy. He doesn't know how to fight, but he assembled the army, 20,000 soldiers, 20,000 Egyptian soldiers. They divided the whole army of Egypt into 4 different divisions. Each one is 5,000, right? And Ramses himself decided to lead the first division. So he was in the front, 5 people behind him, and after a while, another 5 people, another 5 people, another 5,000 people. And then he is marching all the way to Syria. Before he arrives, this is why I think it should be a movie. He arrested 2 locals. They were running outside. He thought something is wrong, so he arrested them. By the way, let me tell you this. We know about the Battle of Kadesh more than any other ancient battle in the history of mankind. Why? Because Ramses himself, after he lost, he was pretending in 8 different temples he built that he won. That he won. You know, I can even tell you, as I always tell my people, I can even tell you the 2 names of the horses of Ramses the Great. The 2 names of the horses. One called Victorious Thebes, and the other one is Amun is content. Amun is happy. Because I think it won 1 male and 1 female. So he was so accurate about everything in the story because he felt that the people would not show a lot of respect for him if they thought he lost in Kadesh. So he built 8 different temples, and in the whole temples, he said, I won, right? So we know about this battle more than any other ancient one. So Ramses arrested the 2 locals, and then he tortured them to tell him what happened, why they were running. And the guys told him, this is because the Hittites were there. But when they heard you're coming, your majesty, they ran away. Those people lied to him. Ramses, the arrogant guy, did not wait for the other 15,000 soldiers to come. He only took the 5,000 soldiers he had, and he got in Kadesh. And as you know, they always show Kadesh like a city of a fortress. So behind the fortress, 50,000 Hittites were waiting, were hiding. And then they attacked the 5,000 people. They killed most of the Egyptians, almost in 1 hour. Ramses was lucky because 2 things happened. In ancient time, when they fight, they only fight in the daylight. So that was the time that the sun goes down. So they stopped. Number 2, the 15,000 soldiers came in the next day. And that is why when we start to fight, it was very much kind of equal because the Egyptian army was very professional. And that is how they saved Ramses' life, and he did not die. The results of the battle is Kadesh became under the control of the Hittites. This is number 1. Number 2, they signed the oldest peace treaty in history. We still have it in Karnak Temple, by the way. Everything, the whole terms and conditions of it. And it says on the bottom, finally the Egyptians and the Hittites were sitting and eating together. That was like, okay. And then the last thing happened, the king of the Hittites sent his daughter to get married from Ramses the Great. And on one of the walls of the temple of Abu Simbel, we found the oldest contract of marriage ever in history between Ramses and this girl, right? Now, Ramses is showing himself leading the army. This is supposed to be Ramses. See him? Yeah. And then you can see all the Egyptian army. You can see the horses, the carriages and this. And then you can you see those lines here? That's a river by this city there is a river called the Orontes River in Syria. So this is the Orontes River. You can see it here as well. And then everybody's fighting, and he's leading the army, and he pretended that he won because he was able to keep the battlefield at this time. So this is the Battle of Kadesh, and this is what he did to show that on the walls of the pylon of Luxor temple. We know that because we studied every single block. We know what says, and that is why I can tell you everything in details about it. But this is the famous Battle of Kadesh, right? Come on in.
So the